Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Investive Ghana Stadium. It's match day 14 of the Ghana Premier League. Gradually, we are trickling down towards the end of a thrilling first round, but this time it's Accra Hearts of Oak returning back to where they call home after that match day 13 embarrassing defeat to Kerala United at the Aliu Muhammad Stadium. But for Nations FC, they'll be hoping to push towards that top half of the table finish for yet another season. So it's still a Saturday. We're live from the University of Ghana Stadium. My name is Josiah Kukwe. I'll be your host for this afternoon's presentation. Don't forget to follow the Ghana League across the various social media platforms on X, on Instagram, as well as on Snapchat. It's Ghana League, and then also on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. It is Ghana Premier League, where you get to find out all the latest news from the only league that matters. It's a thrilling game coming up, and definitely you will be enjoying this particular one. But then let's take a look at the fixtures coming up for match at day 14. It began yesterday at Ekpando Stadium, where it was Heart of Lions that lost for the first time this season. Their fourth defeat since the start of last season at home, and they lost to Indiana FC, which saw Indiana FC occupy the top spot momentarily, but then that is confirmation of that game yesterday from the Kpando Stadium. Heart of Lions losing 1-0 to Indiana FC. Our featured game for today is live on TV3, also live on Unia TV, as well as streaming live on Adisa Plus. Heart of Oak will be taking on Nations FC. But then for tomorrow, Kumasi Asante Kotoko will host Dreams FC. Karim Zito will come up against his former assistant, that's Wilfred Dormon. Then to the Nana Fosu Jabo Park, 11 Wonders will also visit Bechin United. Treasure Blacks return home. They will host Vision FC. Basake Holy Stars will be up against Samatex 1996. Prekum Chelsea will take on Hoho United. Young Apostles will cross blades with Kerala United. And Bibiani Gold Stars on Wednesday will take on Mediama Sporting Club. Mediama's game pushed further backwards because they have about 5 players in the camp of the Galaxies. And it's now time to introduce my guest to you. Thrilled to be joined by Coach Ebenezer Sefa, and he'll be my guest for this afternoon. Coach, you're too familiar. Sometimes I struggle to find the name. Well, good afternoon, Coach.
Afternoon,
how are you doing, Coach?
I'm good.
Let's quickly take a look at what happened yesterday. And yes, a big win for Adriana. The second time this season they've returned, or they've gone to the Volta region and they've picked up a win. But is that a statement win that tells that they are just pushing for the league title?
Yeah, I think it is a big statement. If you really want to win the Ghana Premier League, these are some of the games you need to go in for the 3 points. And I believe that what Adriana exhibited yesterday was fantastic. Aggressiveness, attitude-wise, and for me, I think that the players fought for the 3 points. The back two, I'm talking about the captain, Alex Boachi, and then, of course, the man of the match, Stephen Anochi Bedu. They stole the show, and Seydou Sana in midfield, and, of course, the good old Bright AJ up front for them. So I believe that Adriana did it. As you said, they went to Hawaii, they picked all the 3 points. They were here, this particular venue, and they beat 11 Wonders. And so for me, it wasn't a joke. I think that Basile Ford didn't deserve even a point in that game. And
for Heart of Lions, is this where they sit and feel things are not going well? 4 games without a win for Heart of Lions.
It's difficult. They created some decent chances, but I believe that Bashir Ford needs to work on his attackers. And yesterday's game, for instance, I believe they missed the services of Eche Dogli, because he's one player who runs and tackles a lot. You remember their game against Nations FC? I was not surprised he was substituted latter part of the game because he was really tired. So in terms of Fawaz Ali coming in to replace him, I thought they were going to do a lot of close marking and try to close the spaces in the middle. But Adriana took all control, and they defended so well after scoring that goal. So Bashir Ford, I think that if they really want to win the Ghana Premier League, they need to back up, because 4 games, and for me, I think that Lions are dropping a bit by bit.
Such an unwanted story, and that was the goal that won Indiana FC, or 3 points yesterday at Ekpando Stadium, and their fans going agog over there. They're still pushing for their 3rd title in the top flight. Can they win the 2025-26 title? Time will only tell. It's still Stellar Saturday, live from the University of Ghana Stadium. We're now headed for a commercial break. When we are back, there's more, because our featured game is Heart of Oak against Nations FC. Stellar Saturday from the University of Ghana Stadium. Accra Hearts of Oak, they are hoping to make it back-to-back wins here this time as Nations FC that will be in their way as they look to pick up maximum points here. My name is Josiah Okokwe. I'm still at pitch side with Coach Ebenezer Sifa. But then let's take a look at the standings of both teams heading into this game. For Accra Hearts of Oak, it was a defeat on match day 13. But then for Nations FC, they managed to claw up some pride after going down in their game against Heart of Lions on match day 13. So there you have it. That win for Indiana pushes them to the summit, 27 points after 14 games. Mediama, they will play next Wednesday. Heart of Lions lost, but then they are still third. For the meantime, you have Bibiani Gold Stars, but then Heart of Oak are seventh with 21 points, and a win could take them all the way to third place until the rest of the games tomorrow are played. We'll look at the bottom half of the table. We take a look at the standings again, and this is where Nations FC are. They are 11th with 16 points, and a win for them will obviously push them into the top half of the table. Coach Sifa.
Yes, Frimpong Manso is struggling to win a game away from home. He's won 2 games, beating Gold Stars, his former club, and of course beating Heart of Lions just last week. And for me, I believe that if he really wants to do something in this particular game, though Hearts of Oak in terms of commitment, in terms of motivation, the players are down, and you know the reason why. I believe that Nations is coming to this game with the backdrop that they were down by a goal against Lions and they came back to win by 2-1. Looking at the midfield of Nations FC, you talk of Prince Badu. I mean, one of the improved pivot players you can have in the Ghana Premier League. I mean, Botre is doing very well. A lot of tackles in midfield. But you look at the Hearts of Oak midfield, the likes of Opon Frane, Abdul Karim, and then Hussein. They need to back up their performance. I mean, Hearts of Oak is going to this game with a 4-4-2 system with Frank Duku and, of course, Hamza Issa leading the lines. But looking at Frimpong Manso, he's definitely going to miss this captain, Zach Simpson, who is with the Black Galaxies, and of course the most influential player in his team today, that is Emmanuel Ano. Kofo has been on the bench, so for him he will not be missed. But I think there's going to be a battle from the two technical handlers, whether they'll be able to vary the game, vary the system, and the players should be improvising in terms of chances creation and of course converting them.
Coach Masoud Didi Dramani, he's a 2-time winner of the Ghana Premier League, coming up against Frimpong Manso, who won the league title with Bibiani Gold Stars last year. It's now time to listen to what the coaches are saying. We'll start off with the coach for Accra Hearts of Oak, that's Masoud Didi Dramani.
I think it's very important to learn how to respond to setbacks, and also to try to work on things that you are very consistent on, and then to stay more converting in terms of chances that you create. Because this is a marathon league, and there will be setbacks, and then you need to know how to respond. We've had a comprehensive squad, especially in the back line, where we can play. Even when he was injured, we were still playing others. But every team will wish to have everyone out there, and then to make your possible decision on who to use and who not to use.
Masoud Didi Dramani is the head coach for Accra Hearts of Oak. He believes that they might be missing the services of Ali Mohammed, who is in the camp of the Black Galaxies. But then this is the setup by the head coach with Agbasi searching for his 4th clean sheet in 5 games. And then you have Afrani partnering with Isibe in the heart of midfield. Frank Abora Duku will be playing up front for them. Coach.
Of course, when you talk of Opon Frane replacing Ali Mohammed, he has been a typical centre-back his days with King Faisal. But Hearts of Oak improvise and play him as a pivot. Though he does very well, I think that he's one player that they need to work so tirelessly on him. His psyche and his awareness in the game situation has been a problem. That is the reason why Didi said he will really miss Ali Mohammed. Of course, Solomon Agbashi, the goals that he considered at the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium against Karela was questionable. Communication between him and Osei, so he needs to prove a point here. Though he has saved Hearts of Oak from conceding in his first 3 games, and for me, I believe that this is an opportunity for him to prove himself that those mistakes were preventable. But I think that Hearts of Oak going into this game, 4-3-3 on the table, but tactically it is a 4-4-2 with Frank Duku and Hamza Issa. Obviously, he's going to play Hussein as a free player, a player that is going to use his skills and try to use the pocket of spaces at the back line of Nations FC. Whether it's going to work or not, against Vision FC at the same venue, they did the same, but it never worked for them because Nana Asante, the captain for Vision FC, made sure that Abdul Karim will not play, and of course he was out of the game. So probably let's see what happens today.
Sure. Now it's time to listen to the coach of the away side, Frimpong Manso.
Well, that is our wish, but then the Heart of Lions game is different from. It's going to be different from Hearts of Oak. Looking at the way has things are going for them, we also facing similar thing. So we know they are going to come all out. Yes, we are expecting that. But for me, I think it's good. It's going to be a very interesting game. You know.
Two changes from coach Stephen Premford Mansong because Razak Simpson and then also Emmanuel Ano are both out. They are on international duty. Boahin and Oko Gripman will be playing in the heart of defense. Then 5, Suedu, Suleimana Bedu in midfield. And then Mohamed will be leading the attack for them this afternoon, coach.
Farouk Mohamed, the former player of Kampong Academy and of course Kokwa United. He scored as many as 18 goals in his first season with Kokwa United, 17 goals, a joint top scorer in Kokwa's second season. For him coming to Nation, he's struggling to get the playing time because of Faisal Chawate and of course Emmanuel Ano. It's an opportunity for him to prove a point in today's game. Frimpong Manso have a lot of load in his midfield, 5 players in midfield. It means that when he loses possession, he's going to have at least 9 players behind the ball. So House of Oak needs to also multiply and make sure that they use the pocket of spaces. But looking at the lineup of House of Oak, Didi Dramani wants to go the wide areas. House of Oak's strength is at set pieces, especially corner kicks. They are very good at it. A long ball to the last pole, a cut back from the head, and a finish off from the attacking players. So it's definitely going to be a difficult one. But the team that is going to pick the midfield and the second boss in midfield are probably going to take control of the game. But hey, Ghanaian players, House of Oak attackers, how do they convert their chances? People are complaining. Frank Duku, how many goals has he scored? Hamza Issa. So for me, it's going to be a big headache for Didi Dramani's Accra House of Oak. Frimpong Manso is coming to a game whereby he came from a go down against a tough side like Heart of Lions. He was able to win. Prince Badu in midfield is a player House of Oak needs to watch. If he's able to have his day, then House of Oak are going to be in trouble.
But you're looking at a Heart of Oak side that has only conceded 6 goals in 13 games. By far the best defensive side. But attacking-wise, in the top 6, they've scored the fewest, 9. Should it be worrying for Coach Masud Didi Dramani?
It should be worrying. That is why I've said it on many occasions that our coaches needs to improve our players how to score goals, not only the strikers. I mean, if you have players from the wide areas creating opportunities, they should be able to score. Wayo is not a striker, but he's one player who has been scoring goals for House of Oak. Where he has been coming from, he's got pace, he moved into space without the ball. What about George Paco? I mean, he scored one of the wonderful goals at Accra Sports Stadium for Accra House of Oak. So players needs to be improved upon how to score goals. And I think that if Didi Dramani takes his concentration to that level, people will not be talking about Hamza Issa and Frank Duku. Probably the House of Oak offensive players to the attacking line, anybody can score goal. And that is how we should see our players perform on the field of play.
Accra Hearts of Oak, that's how they enter the arena today. It's been good for them. They moved from the Accra Sports Stadium and they believe that this is where they can't call home for now because they won their very first game here against Vision FC. But what are they to do now? We've spoken about goal scoring, but then tactically we've seen that most of these players are limited, as far as expressing themselves up front is concerned.
Yeah, there are factors that affect performances. And of course, I believe that Didi Dramani is aware of that. House of Oak players are dropping. When you cast your mind back and then watch the pre-season game that House of Oak played, the President Cup against Kotoko, the Homowo Cup, and of course, the game against Olympics, the Democracy Cup, the top 4. And looking at House of Oak performance today, it has dropped drastically. So you ask yourself, what is the problem? The question has to go to the technical handlers. So I believe that the players themselves also need to assess themselves, and probably if they are not resting, they need to rest. If there are things that they are supposed to do and they are not doing, they need to go back to where they started from, and House of Oak will be good. Because look, individually they have good players, but at the end of the day, as a team, they are struggling. And any team that plays House of Oak have the confidence to beat House of Oak. Why? Because they don't give up their best in midfield. Abdul Karim, after returning from injury, what has been his performance? Hussein, after the game against Kotoko and allegedly attacking the referee, what has been his performance? Psychologically, he's off. So do House of Oak have a psychologist in the team to be able to bring him up? Amankwa Befi, a lone player to Dreams, coming back, become one of the finest right back in the league. It's also dropping. Osei Sibe and Ali Muhammad has been, and of course, Solomon Bashi, they have stood in very strongly for House of Oak for conceding.
But you're looking at Nations FC, coach, quickly. A team that came from a goal that we spoke about their resilience and tenacity. But they are missing Razak Simpson, by far one of the best defenders we have in the league. And then also the second top scorer this season, Emmanuel Ano.
I believe that Emmanuel Ano will be the player that they will miss more. Because at their back, Edu And of course, Oko Gripman. We know Oko Gripman as his days with Accra Great Olympics and all that. A very solid defender. The midfield of nations is what is helping them. They drop deep and they make sure that they close the gap between them and their back line. So obviously, it is the attacking players who are going to do more work. That is why Farouk Mohammed comes in. So for me, for Nations FC, I don't think they have a lot of problems when it comes to the players going to the national team. Anon and of course Razak Simpson. Frimpong Mason never spoke about that, but Didi Dramani spoke about Ali Muhammad. So it tells you the difference between those players.
Coach, but then there's a nation side also that are yet to win a game on the road this season. Psychologically, would you say it would be a tall order for them this afternoon coming up against a team that are also quite unbeatable here?
Yeah, Frimpong Mason's first game was against Bechem United. He has barely trained with the team for 5 days. He picked a point. He went for the second away game, he picked the point. And for me, I think that is an opportunity for him to prove whether he will be able to do it or not. So for me, I believe that it is something that Hassel also needs to work, especially the players themselves. There are opportunities that they create a lot, but you ask yourself, why can't they convert such chances? But from Frimpong Maso, he's relaxed. If he's able to pick a point in this game, I mean, it's three things. Either you win, you lose, you draw. So if he's picking a point from a game against Hassel at the Legon Sports Stadium, he's good to go. But Hassel needs to redeem themselves after considering that poor goals from Karela United at Ali Muhammad Sports Stadium. No, not taking anything away from Karela. I think that those goals could have been prevented from entering the net.
Coach, we are talking about one of the best players from last season, Faisal Chawete. He's been missing virtually throughout the season. Only 2 goals this season for him. How can Coach Frimpong Maso get the best out of the same player who played so well under Kasim Mingle last season?
It's about just encouraging him. He got injured. He went off for some time and he came back. He scored 2 goals against the defending champions. That is Bebeni Gold Stars, Frimpong Maso's former club. And that was a hectic game that they played at Abrankese. And after that game, today he's not starting. And he tells you something. So he needs to do more. I mean, but the coach needs to encourage him. He gave you 2 goals against your former club. And he's gone just on the bench. Probably, I don't know what is happening in the camp of Nations FC, but I believe that he needs to be encouraged to do more because he's a fine player.
Still a Saturday, we'll still build it up to the big game here at the University of Ghana Stadium. Accra Hearts of Oak, they are at home. Nations FC are visiting. We are now heading for a commercial break. When we are back, we join the feed. Benjamin Willie Graham is our commentator.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Legon Stadium, where history, learning, and football passion collide beneath the open sky. And this is match week 14 of the Ghana Premier League, and the University of Ghana Sports Stadium stands alive in anticipation, ready to host a contest rich in pride and purpose. And most the two teams are walking onto the pitch there, looking forward to an exciting display in Ghana football in terms of the Premier League. Both teams coming out with some bit of a mixed reaction from week 13 of the Premier League. Accra Hearts of Oak and Nations FC collide this afternoon from the capital camp. The Phobians, Hearts of Oak, giants in their own tradition, where they bear a lot of legacy, marching miles more and believe snitched into every step that they make here. The Phobians having to lose to Karela by 2-0, and Nations FC also having a win against Hearts of Lions. Certainly are looking forward to an exciting display here at the Legon Stadium. Interesting, the Nations FC have not really won any match away from home, and so they're looking to see if today might be one of the moments where they are able to change the narrative about their football in the Ghana Premier League.
Hands. A big game, especially for the Phobians. Looking at what happened yesterday at Ekpando Stadium, especially after Heart of Lions dropped point in that game. They'll be hoping to at least close in on leaders in Giana FC, and it will be very, very imperative for them to get this win because they've not won in their last 2 games or so.
Well, the Phobians really, recent setbacks out of it, remain the league's strongest defensive side, having conceded only 6 goals. Their home form, however, continue to undermine their progress. They are ranked the second weakest home team, with 2 wins, 3 draws, and 1 defeat at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. That certainly will be a headache there for Coach Di Dramani.
Most definitely an unwanted record there. They're good on the road, but home has been very poor. But then on this ground, it's been a perfect record for them. They won for the very first time this season here against Vision FC.
Well, so the vision for today's match there is for Hearts of Oak to pick the 3 points at stake there. Di Dramani has been looking to working with the team and having really made some bit of progress. He talks about the team, how they are able to come back sometimes, not almost all the time. Against Karela, they went down 2-0. They tried coming back into the game, but it wasn't really successful. And so that defeat to Karela United at the Ali Mahama Sports Stadium last weekend has really extended their winless run to 4 matches, consisting of 2 draws and 2 defeats. So that really has really seen them dropping to the 7th place with 21 points from 13 matches out of Oak.
Yeah.
Well, so they come into the game then having made 2 change in their setup there with the exits there of Ali Mohammed. Gordon Kujo comes in to replace, but a little bit of a change in the midfield role there. Rafael Ponsan switching play into the midfield, and Franny moving down to the back line to defend the defensive shape. Hearts of Oak will come out to duck. A lot of hope there on Duku and Hamza Isa, who certainly has come out with some bit of news there regarding his contract with Hearts of Oak, whether he's still going to be there or not. But the 2 teams will be looking forward to something.
It's definitely 4-3-3 could be without 4-4-2, diamond variations. Hussein Mohammed trying to play behind the 2 attackers. That's Frank Duku and then also Hamza Isa. And his presence would really be felt. Can he, send in those crosses, those passes as well, breaking the lines for them? He'll have a huge save. Hearts of Oak should win this.
The match referee this afternoon, Rastum Sunugbe there. Very much experienced in his work there. And Frimpong Mansell will be the man hoping to get a win there away from home for Nations FC. That's been one of the difficult moments there for Nations FC in the Premier League. They arrived in the 11th position that they have it in the Premier League. And so they have some 2 players who currently are out of the team with the Black Galaxy setup. And so there is the main man, Razak Simpson, who's out. And so also coming is Farouk Mohammed into the setup there. And Emmanuel Ano, all of them out of the setup because of the Black Galaxy's assignment there. And so they also coming with their setup and looking forward to having a little bit of a tweak in midfield. But you have definitely talk about the likes of Sohini Sulemana and Charity, all of them coming back.
Attacking players with attacking intent. They've got quality in there, especially with Charity, who's got double figures for Nations FC. This season he scored only twice, but in every game he's hopeful that he can get a goals for them, especially after coming off that long layoff. He's really low in confidence now, but then these are the games that you can actually use as a platform, as a springboard, to just skyrocket your confidence.
There's been a lot of talking point about the form of Accra Hearts of Oak and what defensively they're expected to do. So the Nations FC team were buoyed by a 2-1 victory over Hearts of Lions last weekend at the Brankesi, and so they are campaigning the Premier League. Would definitely be looking forward to what they're able to bring on the table. There's been talking points about what they do and how they are able to do that. Nations FC, all of them in a white outfit. And so here we go, 90 minutes all ahead, 90 minutes where passion will roar, where moments will define most of the games being played here in Ghana football. Once more, we're here at the Legon Stadium, witnessing Accra Hearts of Oak and Nations FC. Hearts of Oak already in their rainbow colors with Nations in all white. They had to try from long range there against Bashir, who's coming in to replace their main goalkeeper. And Farouk Mohammed obviously coming in to start his work there for Nations FC. And so there's Benjamin Asari, who's been out of the Hearts of Oak setup there. And so Bashir has already coming in to making sure that at least they stay focused. Former Dreams FC goalkeeper, seen as one of the safest pair of hands in the Ghana Premier League until he's moved there to Nations FC. Well, there's been talking points about the way the defensive line of Hearts of Oak has been really set up. Mankwa Befi on the right-hand side there. In the middle there is Afrani and Kevin Sibe partnering each other, and Ransford Mensah on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and definitely we'll get to see these two teams go at each other, especially in midfield, where you have the likes of Amponsa and then also Abdul Karim in midfield for Accra Hearts of Oak, and then also Suini Suleimana, also Bedouin midfield, won the man of the match award in their game.
So that's a lovely piece of work there. The flag has already gone up on offside. That will be where you have to debate the decision there from the assistant referee.
Yeah, Hearts of Oak would always want to go with a high line, and already we're seeing it. Mohamed Farouk nearly catching Agbasi off guard, and then also this chance, a glaring one, but then the flag quickly had to go up, and you can see what they're trying to do already. Yeah, it's a 4-3-3, but quite an attacking lineup from Accra Hearts of Oak, and they'll be pushing more men forward, especially through the wide areas, and we could see Ransford Mensah from the left back, and then also Yamankwa Befi from the right hand side. They'll try and support the attack, add more men forward, try and set in crosses and be more direct.
Hearts of Oak trying to square things inside the pathway of Nations FC. Foot high tackle there, obviously going to be a very dangerous one. And Kwame Boachi just couldn't really keep his momentum out there, and so committing just a foul just close to the 18-yard area.
Yeah, very fortunate for him, just a foul there, and that was very clumsy too early into the game to be going in with such aggressive intent.
Well, so Hearts of Oak with this free kick and looking forward to deliver something into the box. So they have to be left-footed. Pretty much a poor decision there from the Phobians. Again, trying to come into defensive setup. And here comes the Nations FC again. The referee spotting that bit of an infringement. Possession picked up beautifully there by Hearts of Oak as they strike forward. And still struggling to keep momentum in there. Saud Sohini send the ball back to the goalkeeper, Rabin Osman Sanon. Referee Paul Mountain obviously coming to this match, knows exactly what he's supposed to put down on the team. Prince Bedu in possession, lost Hearts of Oak really closing in on Nations FC and able to pick up possession away from the visitors. In a difficult way in terms of the away form there for Paul Masters. A big challenge their side, the second weakest side on the road, and one of the 9 yet to secure an away win this season. Nations FC should be a headache there for Paul Master. The Phobian strike here on the right hand side, but lifted into the box now, and again it's been cleared by the defense line. Again, trying to move in Prince Bedu. And they win back infringement there. It's a very good display there for 21 shirted Farouk Mohammed. At least it came in with a long range.
Yeah, and the key this afternoon will be how you transition the ball quicker into the attacking 10. You've seen a Hearts of Oak, taking too many touches, especially in midfield, and it's
possession here for Isaac Boche. Ball swept into the box. It's been headed down. Mensah. And again, Bedu just committed a foul out of just in front of the 18-yard box. And so obviously, Rafael Amponsah, who's been pretty much working hard. Amponsah. A switch of play there. Having to move Rafael Amponsah to the middle certainly gives room for what D. Dramani wants to do with the side.
Yeah, most definitely. And he has support, from Kujo and then also Abdul Karim. And, it's been sluggish a bit. They're struggling to find grip.
Comes Farouk Mohammed has been tripped there. And the referee, rightly so, called for an infringement there for Nations FC. Well, his introduction to the game there, coming to replace Emmanuel Arnaud, clearly indicating he wants to stay and work hard for Nations FC.
Yeah,
Farouk.
definitely. You also talk about the attitude of the team, especially in their last game coming into this one, conceding very, very early in the game against Kerala. And perhaps the head coach, Masood Didi Dramani, has spoken about the fact that he might want a change of attitude if they want to win this game and climb up.
Well, Isaac Butcher here to effect the set piece there for Nations FC. Well, you talk about the visitors from Brand Kessie and 11th position in the Premier League. Lord, they might want to really get in pretty much early. And now they have to hit this one from long range there. Sohini Sulemana. And again, is pretty much of a quiet afternoon. Not much of a Hearts of Oak fans have come into the stands to watch this game, have indeed.
No, not at all. Quite a lot is expected of this team, especially with rumors, flying regarding the drop in motivation of, these boys and also the feeling in camp.
Well, the flag eventually has gone up of an offside. Expecting a lot of runs there from the left-hand side for Ransford Mensah. He's been playing as a left full back there for Hearts of Oak, and sometimes you expect to see how the full backs are able to get back into attacking areas.
Yes, Ali, you mentioned that there's a side with attacking fullbacks, Ransford Mensah from the left-hand side, Yaman Kwabefi from the right-hand side. And if you want to score goals, they definitely need to commit more men for it. You need to take risk, and that has been unusual of Accra Hearts of Oak this season. Just 9 goals in 13 games, and it's just not good for them offensively.
Well, tactically, there are those who are saying that it's been a bit of a rigid play for Hearts of Oak. They haven't really been able to expand their football, and so the players are having a difficulty in terms of transitioning from defense into attack, and they haven't really been fluid as the Phobians you probably knew some years ago.
That was definitely just one of the few sides yet to score 3 times in a single game this season. It's not really been good for them.
Farouk Mohammed again chasing this one here. Wants to go around a CB, and the centre-back really doing a main sprint of aim there, winning back possession. And in that process, both players have picked up a shoulder injury there. And CB goes to ground.
That doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for Calvin Osesibe, and there was that scuffling over there between himself and the Nations FC player. They've already lost Ali Mohammed to the Black Galaxies, and it wouldn't really be good for them if he should also go off injured.
Pretty much of a painful injury there for Hearts of Oak's captain, Calvin Osesibe.
It's a usual injury, for Osesibe. It happened 2 seasons ago. He had to, stay on the sidelines for a couple of weeks before returning again, and it doesn't always look good whenever it recurs for him.
Mensah pushing forward here for Hearts of Oak. Again, coming back to win possession, the Nations FC. Williams Boateng. Trying to keep possession there, Hearts of Oak. Having the likes of Gordon Kojo playing a role for swung in there. Mensah again, there's a bit of a slip there in the box. The Nations really under some bit of pressure there from Accra Hearts of Oak. And Ransford Mensah sending the ball back again. Much to the disappointment of the fans who are watching this match there, Gordon Mensah. And possession back to Sibe on the heart of defense. Swings one, a Hail Mary pass there onto the left-hand side. And Mensah would have to swing one in. Hearts of Oak have a chance again. And it's been cleared defensively there by Nations FC. And they have a free kick right in front of the 18-yard box.
They are swarming the 18-yard box of Nations FC. It's so easy for them now. It's just so easy for them. Yeah, you have Nations FC with men behind the ball, but Hearts of Oak are managing to find spaces. And we spoke about, pushing the fullbacks. Ransford Mensah on the left-hand side with a lovely cross into the box that nearly resulted in a big chance for Hearts of Oak. And then also Bayfi playing a bit more inverted. And that's what you want to see from a low-scoring side like Hearts of Oak.
It's already 10 minutes and still goalless between Hearts and Nations FC. And a match week 14 of the Ghana Premier League, where since 2023 the two sides have met twice in Accra in a league competition, with each side winning once. The balance in their recent meeting sets up, obviously, it clearly tells you what the story has been there for both teams. And possession won there by Nations FC, but the referee really seeing that to be a bit of a notch, and not the best of a reaction there from Paul Marceau, relatively very quiet person, isn't it?
Yeah, he has been, but still a worried man. He's not really hit the ground running since joining that side. Just 2 wins so far in 6 games. Not the sort of record you'd want if he wants to replicate that, feat he achieved with Bibiri Gold Stars last season by winning their first ever league title. With the Nations are still expectant. They're a side that nearly, won the league last season, barring some circumstances, but they're still as ambitious as ever.
A physical tackle there, so we do also go into ground after that nudge there.
I can talk about Suedu now, pain receiving treatment, but no, definitely they might be missing Butchie, Razak Simpson as well. These were huge key players for them in their match day 13 win, where the approach was a bit different. And
well, again, it's a Premier League where surprises sometimes do happen, with Hearts of Lions losing at home to Indiana Stars. Currently still on top of the Premier League log. I'm expecting to see other performances there from other teams in the competition. Good play there from the right back for Hearts of Oak. Another entering gun to the box, and again it's been headed out and picked up beautifully by Brandon Entry-Sapong. Turns well beautifully. Our nation is actually trying to dictate the pace now. Look at the physicality of the game. Just opening minutes of the game is really interesting.
yeah,
You see how these two teams are working assiduously to change the narrative about their performance away from home.
yeah, for Hearts of Oak, it looks awful. For Nations FC, it's also awful away from home. So, it's just similar. Talking about their performances on the road and then also at home, respectively.
Now picked up here beautifully, Hearts of Oak, Hamza Issa. And again, it's been taken away from him. And having to see the likes of Prince Bedu detecting the players in midfield. And the left back position has also been picked up beautifully by Kwambuachi, and right full back position, and Mark Williams also coming in at the left full back. Yeah, there's been talking points about how Hearts of Oak are constructing the ball. Maybe not the best of play there from the Phobians.
It's hardly been smooth for them. It's not really been smooth, but you can see Kujo dropping deeper, making them ball like a 3-back, allowing Yabankwa Bayfi to bump forward a bit, finding space up front.
Swung into the box, and Mark Williams heads it out, but not the best of defensive clearance. And Hearts of Oak would have to pick it up here, but the referee really calling that to be a foul.
A good call. There was a push, a slide push by Hamza Issa on Bedu, who nearly recovered that ball. It's been a bit slow from the Phobians. Yeah, they're crowding the penalty area of Nations FC. We've seen Yabankwa Bayfi put on the ball a couple of times. We've seen Ransford Mensah from the left-hand side playing as a left wing back. Kujo dropping a bit deeper, but they're not making use of the half space that's been left. That space is still left to be exploited in the defense of Nations FC, but Hearts of Oak are not really pushing.
And now they also have a way of hitting this one, Hearts of Oak. It's not too far away from what they intend to do, Karim. Well, Abdul Karim really working hard in midfield. It's been a difficult moment there for the Phobians to deal with it. Isaac Butchie and twists and turns and able to find some bit of peace. And just squaring the balls deep into the midfield destinations. Mark Williams here. Farouk Mohammed is the target. Sibe coming in to steal the ball away from him, and Farouk really looks frustrated.
Yeah, he never saw Sibe coming right behind him. He was thinking he would be first to that ball. Sibe did well. So much awareness, kept his head up. Read the situation very well to just intervene for Accra Hearts of Oak.
The Nations seem a bit comfortable playing. The last 15 minutes or so, they have been very much in control of the game. Constructed something beautiful there, working hard. Interest upon switching play to the left-hand side, and look at how they're keeping possession among themselves, and now it's going to be a bit of a physical tackle there against Isaac Butchie.
It's likely Hearts of Oak up just, bringing them into the game. They had them under pressure in the first 14 minutes of this game, but the moment you start bringing in the wingers, Chawete, Brandon, entry, then you're just sensing trouble, and that's what Nations are doing now. They are trying to bring these two players into the game.
The confidence alone from Nations FC is an amazing display there. Saudi Sohini thinks one up front. Finds a Chawete. Get applauded there from some of the Hearts of Oak fans who are really enjoying, and sometimes these teams will want to keep possession and kick the ball and allow the Phobians to come chasing the shadows, and now they give the ball away and have to commit the foul. Well, the referee initially hesitated a little bit there, but the whistle eventually gone. Runs to Sonic Webb.
I was a bit late, 3-4 seconds late to react to that, but obviously it was a foul. Suedu just clipping Hamza Issa. They were playing with fire. They were enjoying the moment. They were stringing the passes together smoothly, comfortably, but Hearts of Oak were not pressing at all. They were just not in the haste to win that ball, but it was just one misplaced pass, and they nearly got punished for it. And I'm just surprised that the referee just kept his cards in his pocket.
Well, last six games played, Hearts of Oak have picked up 5 wins and drawn 1. On the free kick here to be swinging deep into the box there. Rafael Amponsah being given a chance, and tell you what, they surprisingly gives the ball away to Farouk Mohammed, who's trying to charge forward. Farouk all alone there is just looking for some bit of support up front, and eventually Bassi would have to collect this one.
A good run from the target man, but he know his attributes. He's a lanky player. He loves playing with his back facing the post. Usually ball to chest, ball to feet, not ball to space, and at that point there was no help at all. No support for Farouk Mohammed, who had to run all alone and try to connect with someone. Nobody at all in the box for Nations FC to connect to that one, but it was a good try for the target man for Nations FC.
Well, Giorgio Mani really looking forward to changing the narrative of Hearts of Oak. It's been a bit difficult there for the Phobians to deal with it. And here comes Entry Sapong, switching play out to the left-hand side and picked up beautifully there by Kwame Butchie. Left-footed, swings in. Amponsah sends it back, and Mark Williams there for Nations FC. The Nations are winless on the road since the start of the season, having really had some difficult moments. And Hearts of Oak are unbeaten in 3 of their last 4 games against Nations FC. We want to keep these very simple and neat, the Phobians. Interesting. Prior to their win against Hearts of Lions, Nations FC had lost to Basake Holy Stars and have now won 2 of their last 6 games. Really difficult moment there in terms of how many games they've lost on the road, having lost 5 and drawn 1 in their last 6 games. So the start of the season, they sit 11th on the table with 16 points in 13 games, and they've scored 12 goals and conceded 13. Nations FC says a lot about their defensive shape.
Yeah, but obviously they've been poor travelers as well. In 7 games this season, they've only drawn twice, and that's one of the 2 games they've actually played, where they've been drawing. They've lost 5, which is not really good for them, and that's one of the biggest problems and challenges for Stephen Frimpong. So if he wants to change or turn this team into a title win inside, a team that can contend like we saw, he do with the Gold Stars, then he would have a lot to change, especially with the mentality and also trying to rack up points on the road. That was a bit combative there. And you talk about Kujo, who's slotted in, and he's playing a fine role today as a left centre back, where Afran is playing as a centre back, and then also right centre back is Kelvin Osesibe. So they started with a 4-3-3, but the variation has been moving with a 3-back system and trying to allow Ransford Mensah and then also Yamankwa Beifi, some space up front, but we've not really seen them exploit those spaces and just use it to the advantage.
Here comes Nations. Farouk Mohammed trying to get the ball straight down to his teammates. Well, again, it's the Phobians who really haven't really seen much of the balls front of the position half. Still coming in with something spectacular, but then it's been difficult for them to do so. Haven't really been able to play their match identity and what the fans expect from them. Well, those who talk about Hearts of Oak, 6 drawn matches in the Premier League, Josiah. They've been drawing a lot of matches there, the Phobians.
They love the stalemate. They just love the stalemate, and a chunk of these draws have been at home, and that's how frustrating it's been, especially when they used to play at the Crossport Stadium. It gets to a point where they believe that the grounds were being haunted, and they had to move here at least to salvage the situation. And their first game here was a good game against Vision FC, where they won, and they'll be hoping to continue on that same tangent. But it's really been disappointing for them. Turn those draws into wins, and perhaps they could be leading this table.
Sibe. And it's been cleared away by Prince Bedu. And Hearts of Oak again. They haven't really been that magnificent up front, and the Phobians. They're a bit lethargic in terms of their positioning and how they intend to move into the box there. This is not a real Phobian side that normally would have to attack ball angles.
Yes, Ali, and you look at the top 12 teams on the league log, and they've scored the fewest goals. You talk about Hearts of Oak, just 9. They're not even averaging a goal per game this season, Graham, and it's not good for them. Yeah, defensively, they've got the best defensive record, in the top flight, and they keep clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. They've only conceded more than 1 goal twice. That came against the Gold Stars at home, and then also Carlisle match day 13. But then up front, that's where the problem is. And you have strikers in Frank Duku, you have Hamza Isa, and I believe you just have to be a bit more expansive. They've gone too many times going narrow, not playing risky football, and it's really costing them. You look at Media Mark scoring goals, you look at Heart of Lions, they keep firing, but Heart of Oak are just not firing. They're not getting the goals, and that's why the draws are becoming 1 too many for them.
Abdul Karim and Ponsa. Again, the ball into the path of Mensah, which has been taken away from him. And he's a misfire in Hearts of Oak side this afternoon here against Nations FC. And again, it's another quiet day in the office there for goalkeeper Son, and really frustrating for you, even sitting out in commentary position, Josiah.
Yeah, definitely. Just one save to make, in 25 minutes. That shot came from, Abdul Karim from distance. It wasn't really going to trouble him, and that's how lethargic Hearts of Oak has been up front. Nothing to show for. It's not exciting anymore. When you don't have the wingers to showboat, to go 1v1 against the opponent, and it's just not good enough. Now we are seeing the most attacking players for them now has been their fullbacks, Ransford Mensah, and then also Yaman Kwabefi. It's just not good for the Phobian team, especially if they want to score goals, and rack up points.
Those who talk about the Black Galaxy's call-ups there, and how some teams have had to bail out some of the players. And with Hearts of Lions losing at home, the argument really has been as to whether they need to postpone the match because there were 3 of the key players that the Black Galaxy set up. But that's not really the story here. For Swangen again, it's Nations FC with the opportunity to move forward there. Oko Gripman swinging the ball back. And now the men in white looking to move forward. Oko Gripman here. Would have to be sent in by Kwame Botre into the box. Hearts of Oak clearing the lines. Mark Williams with that drive there. Ambitious it is. And here comes Gordon Cujo for Hearts of Oak. And Mensah also giving the ball away, but unfortunately, Hearts of Oak just can't keep possession for more than 5 minutes or so. Oh, and he's been fouled there, but the referee seeing that foul coming through from Raphael Amponsa. And that's out there, the confidence level they have at Soudu Sohini. And Mate, the team manager, looking on a little bit of a surprise there on his face. Mark Williams charging forward, it's been notched down. And it's coming through from Abdul Karim.
He's finding more space now. He's bumping forward, the space for him. Ransford Mensah, is moving backwards. He's retreating now, and that's affording, Mark Williams Boateng enough space to add something to the attack.
And again, they're trying to call for a handball scenario there for Nations FC. Mark Williams here.
Nearly playing themselves into trouble, the Accra Hearts of Oak. It's just similar to what happened in Kerala, where there was miscommunication, and yet again, Agbasi not knowing when to come out, when to call for, someone to cover that, and again, they nearly, considered from that same incident, that actually saw them lose 2-0 to Kerala.
When we take a look at the point build up there in the Premier League lot there, Adriana starts with 27 points, Midyama with 26, Hearts of Lions with 23 there, Bibiani Gold Star with 22. Then you have Kumasi Santiago with 21, Samatex with 21, and Hearts of Oak also 21, and of course you have Kerala with 20. Well, there isn't a lot of gaps in the point build up in the team.
Not at all, especially entering the match week where you have Heart of Lions second on the table losing, or third on the table losing to second place at Gianna FC. Midyama playing later. Then you need to pick up points now and closing, because it's 6 points between Hearts of Oak now and leaders at Gianna FC. A win for them will put them third, 24 points, and that's good. Just 3 points behind first place team is not bad, especially with Midyama also going away from home. Then perhaps you'll be looking at other game weeks, and racking up more points.
Shining forward there, Entry Sapong. Oh, again, it's not been able to pick up his man there, and so Serena going to the ground. And still the Phobians have to carry him, lifting the ball up here, trying to pick up Duku. He hasn't seen plenty of the ball just in front of the 18-yard box of the position. And still the Phobians trying to make some balls together and swing something into the box. And it's been collected here by Nations FC. Good play there from Sohini. And entry Sapong here. Half an hour already gone. Out of hook now, Nations FC now. And again, you sums up the story.
Yeah, it's been, you know, less lively this afternoon, especially from the home side's perspective, where you'd be thinking that, yeah, there's a chance for us to leapfrog the likes of Mediama and Heart of Lions after what happened yesterday, but they're not showing up, you know, putting up any fight. You talk about Accra Hearts of Oak.
Hearts of Oak now. She's in front of Nations FC again. The flag will have to go up against them.
Just need to be decisive, Graham. You need to be decisive. You need to know what you're doing even before the ball gets to you. And, you know, over-elaboration on the part of the attackers is not really helping. One, we spoke about the fact that the balls are not getting to them. But then once it gets to them, what are you doing with the ball? And on that occasion, Hamza Issa just not good enough. You know, at least the first option would be to find a teammate, the next available teammate. And Hearts of Oak are now struggling. And it sums up why they are not scoring goals now, because they've not been really decisive. They lack sharpness now, and they lack options whenever they enter the final third.
Here they go again. Oh, sent back by Isaac Butchie. And a good grip man again, trying to find support there from the goalkeeper Sanon. He's been on holidays in his old goalkeeping area, Sanon. Farouk Mohammed here. And he has been an exciting player there up front. Mark Williams for Nations. And Hearts of Oak will have to clear the lines once again. And again, he's been talking points about Asante Boahen, who slots in for Zach Simpson. And those talking about Zach Simpson, whether he needs to stay for yet another season. He have to find some bit of a solace outside the country. Here comes Hearts of Oak now. And ball sent to the left-hand side. I want to pick up Mohamed Hussein, and it's going to be Duku's header, but it's picked up by Sanon.
A good move there, Hearts of Oak. Nations FC losing the ball in a very, very critical area, but then they did well, you know, to recover, especially bodies just running right behind the ball, you know, to make it more difficult for Hearts of Oak. But it was a good cross, and that's what Hussein needs to be doing. He's playing as a number 10 in the hole behind Hamza Issa, and then also, you know, Frank Duku. We've not seen lots of those, you know, defense splitting passes from him. We've not really seen him in his element, and that's one of the reasons why they've looked, you know, a bit stunt in attack. He just needs to come to the party.
Yeah, the Phobians are doing almost everything right in the 18-yard box and trying to surprise the opposition. And it's been a tough play there from the Phobians in terms of how they're really working into this game there. And Mohamed Hussein had to be stopped there by Asante Boahen.
And those are the runs you expect him to make, right behind the defense. You know, just make the defense work. We've seen Boahen and Gripman, you know, virtually on a holiday. We've not seen them do any clearance. We've not really seen them, you know, in those 1v1 situations trying to win a tackle. You just need to make the runs, make them work.
Yeah, very poor corner kick taken there by Hearts of Oak. Sums up their performance the first 45 minutes. The fans just sitting on the edge there, not really impressed with what they've seen so far.
No, and, you know, ironically, there's one of the best set-piece takers in the league. You talk about Ransford Mensah, who is a dead ball specialist, and this is way, way below, you know, his standards. It's just awful. You know, when you're not really getting anything from open play, then you have to, you know, turn your focus on dead ball situations and corner kicks, free kicks. These are the situations that could actually win you a game, and you put in such a cross, which is just a terrible cross by our standards, Graham. It's just unlike a crowd of Oak. They're not playing like title-winning team. They're not playing like a team challenging for the title. We've seen other teams play. We've seen the firepower they play with, but this afternoon Hearts of Oak are just way off the mark.
It's the baseball into the box. Sanon picks it up. Sam was just looking around and seeing if he able to find some bit of slippage there. We talk about the league this season and how competitive and tough it's been there, with the Adriana Stars and Medeama really working hard to treat each other. Been a worrying situation there from the bench of Hearts of Oak, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very recent too. And you can hardly tell if this is exactly what they learned, on the training ground throughout the week heading into this game, because you can clearly see that something is not adding up for the Phobians. It's not that smooth yet. They're struggling, to even make incursions into the third half, and we're not really seeing the best of their wing backs now. Bayfi has been missing.
Hussein turns well, or taking off his feet there, the fans. Just trying to get the referee's attention for a penalty decision. Farouk Mohammed again not able to keep possession. Hearts of Oak now would have to recycle the ball back into the half of Nations FC. Another long one to the box. And again, he's Hussein Mohammed here chasing this one, trying to go around Prince Bedu. Sibay's being called into action now. And again, he goes to ground with a foul here. He's holding his tie there, a little bit of a physical nudge on him.
He seems to have collided with Farouk Mohammed, a tall, huge striker, playing as a target man for Nations FC. Again, you see Hearts of Oak, pushing Mohammed forward, but there's a quality of the final balls, Graham. It's not really been good for them. Then that's what's been missing. You can count up to about 9 Hearts of Oak players in the half of Nations FC, but you ask what has been the balls or the quality of the balls being sent in.
And now they have to hit this one, so they don't have to pick it up beautifully. Hamza Isa with that strike. Again, it's the first attempt by Hearts of Oak to see if they can get the first goal after being a little bit of a one outside and not able to hit the brakes the way the fans are expecting them to.
He had to die down target. Yeah, it was, but the far behind it, the power wasn't good enough to trouble Sanan. Has been very consistent. Just 3 clean sheets this season, but it will be huge for his confidence and then also for the team if they can walk away from this grounds with at least a point, making it 4 for him. There's still a long way to go, but that was a good hit by Hamza Isa. Just turned quickly, struck that one at the first time of asking, but just not good enough, not strong enough to trouble Sanan.
Nations again charging forward. Expect to see a lot of work there. The Phobians trying to match on a lot of our supporters to come spur them on to see if they can get a win this afternoon. It's been tough on them, the Phobians. Again, it's been one of the most surprising performances you're expecting it from Dan Raphael and Ponson is able to get the ball straight down to. I think they're in the right full back would have to push the ball in. And here comes Hearts of Oak's Bayfi, switching play into the box. And it's a corner kick decision has been given there to Accra Hearts of Oak, isn't it?
And that's why you need your fullbacks bumping forward each and every time. They need to make use of the half spaces there, very, very close. They're very, very close, but it was a good cross into the box.
Into the last 5 minutes of this afternoon's game, week 14 match. Hearts of Oak and Nations FC still goalless. Well, the fans will be hoping at least they should be in the back of the net before the break. Another ball into the far post. And Hearts of Oak would have to recycle it back into the box. And it's been a bit scrappy there. Well, the Phobians would still have the way to get it into the box. A little bit of twists and turns. Ball has been hit in, and Nations would have to turn defense into attack. And two of the set pieces by the Phobians have been really disappointing. Wache. And Sibe commits a foul.
He had to stick one for the team now. See that earlier chance. Yeah, not the best of deliveries into the box, but at least managed to find the head of Kevin Osesbe, who had to head that one back into the dangerous area. But talk about being disciplined, and I think that has been the strength of this Nations FC defense this afternoon. Tactically, they've been very, very disciplined.
Oh, lovely piece of work there. Hussein has been flagged offside. He thought he had a chance to go forward there. And very bad, disappointing for Hussein. Just was not lucky on that occasion, wasn't he?
Good call. Good call. Very swift move by Mohamed Hussein. But just look at that. Yeah, he was in an offside position. Just a fraction of offside there. But smart play by the defense of Nations FC. He's jumping off the line.
Assistant referee in the fast now, Gasting up for just flagging him offside. And again, the fans were not really happy about it. And yet another bit of a push there on the centre-back, Asante Bwine. Mark Williams here for Nations FC. Again, you expect to see Mensah coming in. He allowed the ball to Cholo out there for a goal kick. And a reaction from Coach Dramani, clearly a frustrated man.
Yeah, it was definitely, he was expecting Ransford Mensah to just get at the end of that. You know, even though we saw Mark Williams Barton trying to intervene, he just had to, stick a leg in there, trying to, distract Ransford Mensah, but he just didn't show any ambition to win that one.
Good play now, and you expect to see some rounds up. Entry Boateng, and very surprising play from him. Again, it was falling into the box there for Hartlepool to deal with it. Couldn't quite find a way. And the first 45 minutes of this game really been disappointing in the face of it. It's trying to see some performances there, picking up signals over 2 minutes of added time. Baby. Hussein doing so well there. Hussein trying to go around Sapong, trying the ball back to Mensah, trying to hit into his right foot, and ball taken away from him. And, here comes Sohini looking to pick up Chawate, and Bayfi standing very tall away from Chawate. Was approaching the end of the first 45 minutes and waiting the added time. Hartlepool would have to get the ball for it. Oh, lovely. Here comes opportunity. Is it a handball? Well, Rastum says no. Well, a lovely piece of work there from Hamza Isa. Rastum were very close to the action. Flagged that to be a very good interception. Not a handball scenario there. Get a quick moment there from a decision whether Hartlepool do have a legal appeal there for handball. I think it's going to be a bit of a pull there. Farouk a little bit disappointed with himself, and man Godwin. And 2 minutes of added time in this game. Hearts of Oak and Nations FC really have been a very, very quiet afternoon. Game lacking drama and events. Both teams are beginning to find it difficult getting some bit of openings just in front of the back lines. And the tackle here coming through from Asante Rahin. To keep their defensive shape very much intact. Hearts of Oak just being one of the strongest defensive side in the Premier League. Only 6 goals conceded. Just away from home. Duku really is working hard to see if at least he can get a goal here for Hearts of Oak. Just approaching the end of the first half. Another ball into the far post. Once again, it's been knocked down, and Farouk, who has been offended or impeded, and he goes to ground there. Farouk Mohammed, attacking player there for Nations FC. Well, the Phobian babies, at least they have come in to support the Phobians, at least for a victory. They're young and passionate about their football, clad in their Hearts of Oak rainbow colours. And Rastum obviously will signal for the end of the first half here. Lacking drama, lacking potency, lacking intent there between Hearts of Oak and Nations FC. Not much can be taken away from these two sides, with coach Masoud Dramani heading straight into the tunnel, and the dressing room trying to have some bit of work there with his players. Certainly it's not the Hearts of Oak side that has been vintage over the last couple of years there, but they have to really have to fight against Nations FC, who themselves haven't won any match away from home. At half-time, Hearts of Oak 0, Nations FC 0.
Half-time from the University of Ghana in a stellar Saturday fixture. Accra Hearts of Oak taking on Nations FC. And after the first 45, it's been still, it's been flat from both sides and nothing to show for in this particular one. And I'm here with Abdul Ghazali, the assistant head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. Coach, how difficult has it been? Do you think tactics has been executed so far in the first 45?
Well, I would say yes, because what we wanted the boys to do was to keep the ball and then find ourselves in the spaces where we think we can capitalize on. We can capitalize and then find ourselves in the final third of the attack to get a goal. But unfortunately, it looks Nation FC also look disciplined when it comes to their back line. They look organized, and I think if our two strikers and then our two wide players are able to make decisions, decisive runs, we are going to break through and then we'll get whatever thing that we want. What we want is the goal. When we just get the goal, that is all. And I think if they are able to run through where we expect them to go and the balls get there, definitely we'll find our way.
Thank you very much. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank
in
you.
The second 45. Abdul Ghazali is assistant head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. His side currently drawing. It's been a frustrating game for them in the first 45, but they're still hoping that they can still manage to get the win. I'm now here with the assistant of Nations FC. How do you sum up the first 45?
Very interesting game. Very interesting game. Both sides are playing very good football. But our boys are not doing the basic things that they have been taught. We want them to do the simplest things on the pitch, and it will yield results for us.
We've not seen you carve up in the Heart of Oak defense. We've not seen you create any, big chances. But are you aiming at winning this game, or you think leaving here with a point will be good?
No, we're aiming at winning the game. But as I've told you already, they are not doing the basic things. The basic things. It's too much complacency. Complacency has set in. So we will talk to them there.
Thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck. So complacency setting in, he believes, but then it's still barring here. Stella Saturday fixture. Hearts of Oak nil, Nations FC nil. We'll be right after the break with my guests too. Just talk through the first half. Goalless between Accra Hearts of Oak and Nations FC in our stellar Saturday kickoff game here at the University of Ghana Stadium. I've now been joined by my guest, Coach Ebenezer Sefa. Coach, what do you make of the first half?
Not exciting performance from Hearts of Oak. Nations, in terms of mobility, they've dominated Hearts of Oak. I think they were the better side in the first 45 minutes.
We spoke about the fact that, yeah, Hearts of Oak on paper looked more like a 4-4-2, 4-3-3 with variations. Now we see Kujo slotting in Bayfi and then also Ransford Mensah having tons of space to exploit. Have you been impressed with that system so far?
No, Hearts of Oak started with a 3-back. They are playing 3-back. So Ransford Mensah on the left and then Amankwa Bayfi trying as much as possible to be able to augment the effort of the two strikers, but it has not been working because of the midfield of Boche and, of course, Prince Badu of Nations FC. They've been dominant in midfield of this particular game. And I love the way they interchange their positions and, of course, the movement of Faisal Chawate and, of course, Sapon, the chap with the 40 shirt on the right side. And I think that they've been able to tame Hearts of Oak. But Hearts of Oak are giving away balls in midfield easily. And for me, their concentration level is low. By looking at the attitude of the nation's players, anytime they lose possession, they have as many as 9 players behind the ball. So Hearts of Oak finding it difficult to break through. That's the reason why you see that both goalkeepers are on holidays. I mean, there be some few shots at goal. I mean, Abdul Karim had one, but it was very feeble to beat the goalkeeper of Nations FC. But I think that they need to do well. Let's see what the technical handlers will be telling them.
13 and a half games played for Hearts of Oak, 9 goals scored. And a team, one of the teams in the relegation zone in Bechem United, has even scored more goals than Hearts of Oak. What do they need to do? We are seeing players bumping for it, but the runs looks tactic.
Hearts of Oak players need to back up. The technical team needs to back up. Because what we are witnessing today is very poor. There's no excitement in the play of Hearts of Oak. And of course, you could clearly see from the fans out there that there's no excitement in their play. The players are giving away balls, and you ask yourself what is really wrong with them. I mean, they've lost focus. Their awareness is not good. Communication is very poor, especially between Hussein, Hamza Issa, and of course, Frank Duku. They are really, really playing poorly.
We've seen them a couple of times, and it's worrying, like you said. You know, even the demeanor of the fans tells you, it paints the picture for you. But with that two top, with Hussein behind, and Ransford as well as Bayfi, adding some bite up front. You think that's what they need to do to get a goals, or they need to change the system?
I believe that did he have to pull out Frank Duku and then bring on Mauli Wayo. He's got pace. Because the two centre-backs of Nation are relaxed. You talk of Oko Gripman and Asante Boache, they are very relaxed because the two players are not putting pressure on them. Because anytime they search for it, I mean, the force from Abdul Karim and Hussein are limited because of Prince Badu and, of course, Isaac Boche in midfield. So he needs somebody who will be able to run between the spaces and create problems for them. And, of course, he tries as much as possible to always also push the likes of Abdul Karim to be able to give that kind of incisive passes in between them. Because other than that, it will be difficult for us to focus. Because when the ball goes to the wide areas, they find it difficult in sending in. The only positive aspect of us to game this 45 minutes has been their corner kicks. And apart from Ransford Mensah's poor first one, the other two has been solid. To the last ball for Esibe to knock down for them to finish. It's just that Nations have been more. They have more load in their penalty area than Hearts of Oak when it comes to the corner kicks. But that has been the positive aspect of Hearts of Oak play. I think that they need to back up.
The assistant coach mentioned, and he branded that as being tactically disciplined for Nations FC. There's nothing going past them this evening. Do you think, based on what they are or how they are playing, do you think they'll be content with a point, or they are in to win this game?
Of course, you realize that Farouk Muhammad up front has to do the hold-up play for them, for Faisal Chawate, and of course, Sapon to join. But they are not doing that. But basically, they are all behind their penalty area. They have more of the possessions in their half because Frimpong Manso has told them that when you lose possession, let's have more players behind the ball. Let's frustrate Hearts of Oak. If you pick a point from this game to Kumasi, I think he will be happy than losing all the 3 points. And that is the reason why anytime they lose possession, they have more players behind the ball. But anytime they have possession, watch the runs of Farouk and then, of course, Faisal Chawate. Just that the transition has been slow from Boche. He needs to translate very well. If he's able to do that, they can cut Hearts of Oak on a break.
Coach, football has always been a game of two halves. We've seen a very lethargic first half. Now, what should a pep talk be like? Well, we've seen coaches win games with pep talks, just 15 minutes, in the dressing room, and they send out warnings, strategies new signals. What should be the pep talk from Didi Dramani?
I believe that they should continue to use the wide areas because through the middle is very difficult because the two pivots that nation is playing, Boche and Prince Badu, has been very difficult for Hasselhoff to be able to take through. When they go the wide areas, of course, it is very good for them to be able to run. Amankwabe a few runs, and of course, Ramford and Ponsa. They've had the opportunities to open up the game. And I believe that if they're able to do that and bring on Mauli Wajo, who has got pace to be able to take the defenders on, it will be probably going to help Didi Dramani's Hasselhoff side.
Nations FC still winless on the road this season. Game as a winnable one, but what do they also need to do to keep their sheets clean and perhaps even stand a chance of winning this
I believe that they need to play in the half of Hasselhoff than playing in their half. Because I believe that if there's any infringement in the half of Hasselhoff, to their advantage. But in their half, it is to their disadvantage. You realize that they go the diagonal, but they don't go direct. And that is from Boche and, of course, Prince Badu. But I think that they need to play more of possession in the half of Hasselhoff and also make sure that they utilize the runs of Faisal Chawati, and I think that they can get a goal.
Coach, we've spoken tactics. Now let's talk about attitude and mentality. Have you been pleased with what Hasselhoff are doing this afternoon?
Not at all. I've told you about the attitude of the Hasselhoff players. Their awareness, their communication has been very poor. And their body language on the field of play doesn't show players who wants to win this game. And let me take your mind back to the Adriana game against Heart of Lions. You saw the mentality of the Adriana players. Yeah. The awareness of the Adriana players. And you'll be excited the way they play. You are not seeing it from Hasselhoff. In their last 4 games, they are not doing that. And you ask yourself, what is the problem? They need to back up.
Interesting. So it's still halftime here at the University of Ghana Stadium, match day 14, and still a Saturday fixture. Accra Hearts of Oak currently drawing against Nations FC. It's goalless now, and I'm still here with Coach Seva. Coach, the players are coming, the referees are out, both sets of teams on the pitch. What should we expect in the second half?
I expect both teams to be to change their game plan and also push for goal. And I expect one of the teams to win. It is difficult, but I think that Nations stands a chance because the first 45 minutes they dominated Hasselhoff in terms of possession and also playing more of the game than Hasselhoff. But if Hasselhoff are able to use the wide areas that I'm talking about and bring on Maulu, who will be able to take them on.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's head for a commercial break where we are back. We join the feed for the second 45.
So we're back for the second 45 minutes of the match between Hearts of Oak and Nations FC. And again, the balloons and the rainbow balloons will have to go up here as the Phobians gets us going in the second half. It's still stalemate here at the Legon Stadium, match week 14 of the Ghana Premier League. Both teams are struggling to at least get the opening goal and to set the tone here for the match. And Hearts of Oak are still looking a little bit of a side. I really want to get the first goal here, but Nations FC twatting almost all the effort there. Hussein Mohammed here, drops the ball down. Oh, was looking to see the rounds there of Mensah. Ball swung into the box. And so here again, eluding him. And the Phobians again have to quickly recycle the ball back. Karim and the rest have to do their work there, but Sana have to pick it up. Much more like that there from Hearts of Oak. So it's out to come in from someone. And again, a pep talk there from Coach Dramani, really showing some bit of prowess here. And Sibe and Farouk Mohammed for Nations. Just trying to find his way out there, but he's been blocked by all the channels there available to him. And David Afrani And showing that is unable to find space away from him. And now the bench of Hearts of Oak looking a little bit of a disappointed there, having been able to take advantage of the opportunities they've had in the first half. I was looking for something away from home, Bayfi. Here comes Hussein. I'm trying to drag one into the path of Duku. And Farouk yet has to work things out with Afrani. And Chawate. And he's been dragged from behind and wins a free kick. And Bastum there being swarmed by Hearts of Oak players, disagreeing with the call. And here you go again. Chawate was looking to drag this one in, and he came from behind to take the ball away from him, Hussein. And Chawate really on the turf now, disappointing assistant coach of Hearts of Oak. Clearly not happy at all. And again, a very lovely scenes there from these young children. Just here to support the side with the balloons. Well, the change. Well, he changed his mind, basically. Rastum, it's going to be a free kick for Hearts of Oak, and SCB would have to get things going, and this is SCB losing possession. Nations would have to swing it down to the left-hand side, and it's going to be Farouk coming in, and Agbesi salvaging the situation there for Hearts of Oak. Oh, lovely piece of work there from Chawate, shoved off the ball there by Hussein. Soini dragging into the right-hand side. Williams. Expecting Nations to find space, and Wachi would have to hit this one from long range there. Not really going to test the agility of Agbasi at all. Intentions been made known there, Hearts of Oak in the second half, dragging themselves into the game. And again, he's able to take advantage of the opportunities they've had there. Karim is being targets up front, and Hamza Isa dragging the ball back now, and Mensah sends it deep into the box, and Sanu have to pick it up here.
It's been a fairly good second half already. Well, I think they just need to push. They are trying. They are knocking on the doors now. They are showing intent, but it's just with a final delivery, that quality delivery, that could just turn everything around for them.
Well, it's been missing in his side there, looking for the work there from Afrani, and here comes Hamza Isa. Mensah's ball into the box now. Sanu as a target, picked it up. And Duku has been fairly quiet this afternoon, really hasn't been involved in most of the attacking runs there from Hearts of Oak, hasn't he?
Yeah, not at all, because you're expecting Mohamed Hussein, who's playing at that in the hole, that number 10 role, to find them, but himself, that's Duku, and then also Hamza Isa, but that's not happening because they are not working, towards achieving that. And kudos as well to Nations FC. They've done well, they've blocked all the passing lanes, and it's really working to perfection so far.
Guanchi. Sibe. Isa. And wins a free kick. Once again, you expect Hearts of Oak to make some tweaking to the side, don't they?
Most definitely. They need some firepower up front, but then that was a good ball by Isa. Does well to control that for the first time. With a lot. There was Bidu that bundled him over.
And Pepe couldn't quite control the ball here, and still 10 minutes in the first half. We didn't really see much of a Hearts of Oak's display, and the second half really seeing the side trying to come in, nicking some bit of balls just on the opposition half. And still been difficult for them to do so. CB has always been the pillar at the back there for Hearts of Oak, hasn't he?
It's the same setup. Nothing has changed. Hussein playing the number 10. You have the front two of Frank Duku, and then also Hamza Isa. Is intensity, the urgency with which they need to, move the ball. They need to move the ball quicker. They're spending too much time, and just look at that.
Lovely work there from Soini, switching play down to the right-hand side. And always going to see some bit of runs here, but some bit of blockade. And always with that trickery. So as you see, Bedu and his teammates coming in. Another point swing up it, and Afrani heads it down. Hamza Isa for taking off his feet. It's been Nations FC. They've been pretty much aggressive and well organized. To take the ball straight down to the half of Artefuk, and you have the likes of Kwambuachi playing his role here as the Gotre. And then comes the centre backs, Santa Puahin. Sano now would also play a bit of a part in the game. Then Farouk is a target and hits it near post and goes wide. And he's not really getting the support up front as they wished.
He's a target man. He's a lone striker now. They just need to play to his strength. Spoke about the fact that he loves to play with his back facing the post. He loves to struggle defenders off the ball. On that occasion, that was a lovely ball to space for him. Just wouldn't waste too much time with excessive touches. He just knew what he wanted to do. I struck that at the first time of asking. You talk about Nations FC. They've been disciplined in defense. They know when to car into their shells. They know when to go, you know, with expansive football, and it's really helped them this afternoon.
Now to go again, Nations FC just on the touchline. Farouk is just looking to pick it up. Again, there's Mensah who's doing his job there. And Entry Boateng wins back possession after losing it out to Mensah. And the Phobians also being a little bit resolute at the back there. And it's going to be at another notching free kick there.
There's the attitude for me, Graham, the attitude from the Phobians or the Hearts of Oak players hasn't really been, you know, impressive, and you could feel that displeasure amongst the fans so far in a game like this. And you know, they've struggled at home. They've struggled at home, and I've spoken about the fact that it's because they don't take chances. They don't take risk whenever they're playing at home. They always want to think about not conceding first. And with 6 goals conceded all season, it's by far, yeah, an impressive record. But yeah, you need to score goals to win 3 points, and that's not what's currently happening, you know, with them. They're giving away too many points, especially with a draw. 6 draws so far, and if this should stay this way, that'll be the 7th. That'll be the most in a division this season, and you just don't win the league with that.
Another ball in the box, and KFC trying to recycle the ball back in. Hussein would have to pick here for Artefuk, and goes around his man and gets him to roll in the carpet. And now it's going to be at the side post, and it comes back for the crossbar, denying Hamza Isa a goal here. Well, again, it's very unlucky there, the young man. Mark Williams feel the goalkeeper was impeded there, but just the crossbar coming into the rescue of Artefuk, but the ball was swung in beautifully there. And there you have it. Was it up the line?
Yeah, off the line. No goal. Just didn't cross the line, but he was just a whisker away, millimeters away from opening the scoring for them. That was a good ball, and that's what you need to do now. Commit more men forward. A couple of touches in the box before that chance was even created.
Hussein again to the near post, and now, oh, that's a good play there, Artefuk. Trying to get the goal here. They have been on the beat in the second half. Get almost everybody involved. The looping header here, but again, it was a yellow card to Sanon there. Talking about the aggressive and just complaining to Rastum there. Dissent, yellow card.
He was asking for a foul. He believed that, you know, the Hearts of Oak attacker bumped into him, and that was Frank Duku who he believed bumped into him, but the referee having none of that, and he's now been booked for decent. But Hearts of Oak are just, you know, coming back, you know, into life now. You look at the balls now, the runs from Mohamed Hussein. We've expected that from him all evening, but he's not doing it. And now, you know, he's making things work in attack for them. They're creating chances. They're moving.
Again, it's a very aggressive tackle there. Rastin was very close to the action. He's allowing the play to go. Oh, lovely space here for Hearts of Oak to see if they can have the opportunity to get the first goal there. But Hamza Isa just know to get to the position well. A little bit of an overhit that one.
Both players not on the same tangent there, not on the same page. A bit of miscommunication. Ball a bit overhit.
Yeah. going to be Hearts of Oak seeing plenty, and Mensah here finds Hamza Isa. Hamza's ball to the far post, there nobody there to pick it up.
Disappointing ball from Hamza Isa.
Yeah, it's a Rabin Osman Sanat with a yellow card confirmed. And again, he's a very angry, not really happy at all with the call there. And so Mensah has been withdrawn for Kwame Wayo to come in. And Frank Doko is also out for George Paku. And so Ransford, Mensah out. And so those are the changes made there, but it's been a little bit of disappointment for himself there.
That is sort of performance you'd always expect from, you know, one of the finest dead ball specialists in the league. In the first half, we saw that awful corner kick from him. Just went straight to a goal kick, and I think perhaps Mauli Wayo will add some bite up front for them.
Gambuache sends the ball away.
That was good hustling there by Mauli Wayo. He just came on, and that's what he adds to the Hearts of Oak setup. On the ball, he's good off the ball. He's a workaholic. Will press with everything.
And again, it's that go for it. And so this will be Hearts of Oak's opportunity. And back again to the crossbar. And George Paco really coming in with something spectacular this afternoon.
And both substitutes combining there. It was Wayo with a cross. It just went past everyone, blitzed past everyone, and Paco improvised. That ball had gone past him, but just did so well to try and get something on it. The crossbar just denies him, and Hearts of Oak are now, you know, turning the heat on. They should stay this way. Perhaps they are not far away from the opening goal.
And this time it's going to be a card again to Nations FC's 44 Shedder Prince Bedu.
Clumsy. Let's look at that.
Ooh.
That was nasty from Bedu. A bit more aggressive, very combative from the man who scored the winning goal not long ago at day 13. And it looks like now it's just what you need to resort to, especially when you have, you know, these pacey players now, you know, just using the spaces to the advantage, playing this passive football. You can see Nations FC going a bit more narrow, blocking the spaces in the middle.
Again, it's another free kick advantage to the Phobians. Well, Hearts of Oak would have there's opportunity, a little bit of a nudge at the back, and so they have been seeing that against Mark Williams. Yeah, a very good position there for Hearts of Oak to take advantage of it.
2,000 quick succession. The referee on point to have given it. I think the nudge, it was Nations FC rather thinking it should have been a free kick to them after Mark Williams was brought down. I think it's a right call. It was a very good call to just come back and just award them, play the advantage and give them the free kick.
An hour already going the game, and Hearts of Oak with this free kick. George Paco behind it as well. I want to fancy a very, very lovely one, and Paco would want to hit this one. Nations FC really have a player down, and needs to be tended to now. Hearts of Oak have been having mixed results recently. They have managed to keep their home record intact, but they have managed to remain unbeaten at home since the season started with 5 wins and 6. On the other hand, the Nations are winners on the red set, and Hearts of Oak have had some balls on the crossbar just coming into the rescue. Again, you still have these young Hartlepool fans enjoying the game today, Andy.
Yeah, those where the loyalty begins. Those where the love for the club begins at this tender age, and they grow up to learn the values, the club, the history of the club, and they also have that mandate to also bring up their kids, supporting the club they love, and it's just sheer love from the kids, sheer love from these young kids.
Well, so the Phobians are still coming in very neat and simple and very hard.
Yeah, they are knocking on the doors now. They are asking questions. They are probing. They are committing more men forward. They are making those incisive runs now. They are going more direct. Well, spoken about the final delivery, that final ball with quality, and you're wondering where it could come from.
Well, so they're going to have another free kick. Well, so the situation here clearly shows that Hartlepool just want to make sure that they have the win. They want to make sure that they have something going. It hasn't really been the best. Free kick advantage now to Hartlepool. 64 minutes already gone on the clock. And still fighting hard to see if they can come back into the game there. Well, in terms of performance, Hartlepool have recorded 50% rate at home draws. Our nations have suffered losses in 83% of the last 6 away matches. Accumulated 21 points, where nations have 16 points this season. Interesting, Hartlepool registered 2 draws in their last 4 head-to-head matchups against nations. So there's always going to be the winning player there from Hartlepool. We talk about the draw there when Hartlepool 2 goalless with All Blacks, and the Young Apostles also helped them to a goalless drawn game as well. And the Phobians really had to find themselves in a situation where the wins have come against Vision by a goal to 0, and so losing to Kumasi Santiago for then. And also going all the way to Pasaka Holy Stars to beat them at 2 goals to 1, and the CBA really picking up a notch there. 6 matches of Hartlepool and Nations FC. Well, interesting once again, the 2-1 win against the Hearts of Lions came as a big shock there. They're trying to use that one as the launch pad to see if they can get themselves to surprise Hartlepool this evening. Paco beating mid-air. There's a long ball set forward.
It was contrasting forms, especially on match day 13, Hartlepool losing away, and then also Nations FC picking up valuable 3 points at home. But you have the worst, or one of the worst home, records in Hartlepool, and one of the worst travelers in Nations FC coming up. Then it's always going to be KG. Hartlepool not really playing well, especially when they are playing in front of their fans. We've seen them, in games where they've struggled. And so far, the only wins they've had at home have been 1-0 wins. 11 Wonders and then also Vision. And that's just unlike a team that's showing ambition.
Again, Nations in the box. And now they have to try this from long range, and interestingly, just hitting it wide.
And that's Bedu's, strike. It's going wide, and was in that same position. He scored that winning goal against Heart of Lions on match day 13. He's trying to, try his luck over there, hoping that at least it would have been a bit more precise.
Some of the decisions that are coming in from the referee seem to be contested by players as well.
And Suedu can just believe that. Neither can any member of that technical team in the Nations FC dugout also believe it. Hussein was caught napping, but the referee just showing a bit more clemency, a bit more.
Again, it's a Rafael punches ball into the body of our Nations FC player, and it's riding in pain there, very painful. And that's Botry. Well, he's just up again.
Some theatrics there. But for a second, I was thinking he would need a stretcher. But
absolutely.
No, he's a man. He's showing courage. And yeah, perhaps he's still feeling it. But just look at that, right straight into his vitals. Just look at that. Oh, that's the chest. That's the chest.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just a reaction from him. And
an awkward reaction. But yeah, well, thank goodness he's up now. It's unplayable together with Bedouin midfield. Two players always combining.
Davis throw into the box. It's been dodged down, and Nations were cleared. And again, it's going to be Farouk just going around. That's the folks that Frani is able to tame the ball down and quickly find space. Raphael. Tell you what, I just have to see a little bit of switching play by Hartlepool. And that's the search forward, lovely here. Punsa and Bayfi swings one into the box, and George Paku drops the ball down and lifts it up, and the Phobians have the goal now. They have been calling, and definitely the door has been opened for them. And Hamza Isa certainly has produced a magical moment for the Phobians with the goal here.
That's where you thought they were taking their foot off the pedal. That's where you thought the intensity was reducing for them. They produced a moment of brilliance there, and the delivery, the quality of the cross from Bayfi. But then Paku does well to hang on for a moment and just look at the cross, make space for himself right into the the 6-yard box, and Hamza would just pounce on that. Oh, you just take nothing away from the goal, but good teamwork, good build-up there. Paku does well, but look at Hamza's positioning. He was onside, he stayed onside. It was a pinpoint cross to his forward. All he had to do was to guide that one past Sanan. And it's a well-deserved goal. Perhaps they've been the better side in the second half.
Oh, they deserve it. The Phobians have been very aggressive, have been very exciting in the second half. 70 minutes on the clock there, and they showed their prowess with a goal by Hamza Isa. And there they go again, the Phobians. They have been buoyed by the goal and beginning to exert some pressure on Nations. Once again, you see the work rate of Bayfi there. Hamza again, fans George Paku. There's a reverse of the ball there, but again, not the best play. The Hamza Isa's third goal of the season. And clearly the young man wants to produce the magic there for Hartlepool. this season. And he's been the pin-up boy, at least this season there for Hearts of Oak, isn't it?
They've always thrived on his goals. He's been their goal-getter in the last 2 seasons, ever since he got graduated or promoted to the senior team from the under-20 side. He's always been unstoppable for them. And whenever he stops scoring, they begin to struggle. This season, he's not really scored much, but each and every time he scored, they've gone on to bag up points. He scored when they went to Brekum. He scored at Basake. He scored today. And each and every time he scored this season, they've gone on to win. And perhaps maybe the total score wouldn't change, but that was a good goal from a poacher.
In terms of possession and the Nations FC side, they have not really won a match away from home, and there's a free kick there. Flag has gone up on offside. The woes of our Nations FC will continue there away from home. They've been very, very disappointing on the road, and now they have a goal down. They certainly would have to come back.
It's not been good for them on the road this season. Last season, it was better for them. Last season, they pushed and pushed until match day 34, where they believed mathematically it was impossible to win the league. But this season, just 7 games on the road and nothing to show for, just 2 draws. And if it should stay this way, it would be their 5th or 6th defeat of the season. Just 1 point won away from home for Nations FC. And we've spoken about the ambitions as a club ever since their promotion to the top flight. And perhaps they might be enjoying one of the worst away forms in the...
Well, again, they still go back out to forward with a second goal. And a lovely block there by Kwamboachi. And the Phobians were just up there for the second goal.
How did he not score?
And how did Kwamboachi just steal his way out there to block that ball? But let's look at the build-up again. George Paku involved, and it was Hussein, and again he had to come in, and Abza Issa nearly got the 4th goal of the season for himself and the 2nd for Hearts of Oak. Look at the round there behind the back line of Nations FC. Certainly late in arriving there. Goalkeeper was completely beaten, and Kwamboachi threw his body into the line and he saved the situation. Well, again, it's been the Phobians who have really thrown themselves into the game and looking to pick it up and move forward with it. And Farouk Mohammed will have to get some bit of support from the back. Another ball sent into the box now. Well, the Phobians are enjoying some bit of football there. With the introduction of George Paku and Kwamuayo, the Hearts of Oak side have actually been inspired to go forward and get something out of it.
It looked blunt in the first half. It looked blunt, no runs, no busy runs, no 1v1 situations. It was just very, very flat from them until the introduction of Paku, an attacking-minded player, and then also Mauliwayo, a hustler of the ball, loves to press, hard-working attacker.
Change will have to come in here. And Chawete out, Suhaini Suleimana out for Abdullah Mashoud and Frederick Zoli. So the changing coming in. So that's it there. Substitution. So making up. Just making sure that at least they get the reaction right. The last quarter of an hour to be played for in a game. For Gripman, just picking up an injury there.
There's some collision there. Mauliwayo is colliding with his opponent. You would say they've been disciplined all afternoon, all evening. Nations FC, they've really put up a fight in their last 2 match days. That 2-1 win against Heart of Lions today. They've been so organized in defense until that moment of brilliant. One good cross from the right-hand side from Befi, the hold up from Paku, and then Hamza Issa just, converting from close range. And, for a second, they just dropped their guard and they were punished for it, but overall, they've been great.
Azavok trying to make some of a tactical switch there. Kwambuachi, Sibe on him now. Well, swing the ball into the box. It's been headed out really as far as Paku. And he's been lovely. And his introduction clearly gives Azavok the chance to go forward there. Lovely control there for Issa. Hamza Issa really going and goes to ground, just feeling he might have been injured there. But, Nations FC once again who get the balls away. SCB with the ball down, Befi coming to support. The referee seeing that to be a tackle there. And that's Soko Griffman.
Furious, quite furious, left a leg there.
Did he get the ball?
Yeah, he did get the ball, Graham, but I think it was the intent, a bit more aggressive from Gripman. He's missing Simpson this evening.
It's Bunting coming in. That's the goal there from the Arthur Folks. Paku support there for Hamza Issa.
That was a poacher's goal. He'll time that run, ensure he was on side.
And then you also have Hamza Issa, the goal scorer, also out now for Kweku Boateng or Kweku Henry. So those are the changes, and Twickenham Hearts of Oak are making into the second half. Already up by a goal to nil.
You need fresh limbs now. You need players who can run, especially in the situations where you need to defend a counter.
Well, so last 10 minutes plus at a time. And everything will be summed up here by Josiah.
Yeah, it's been, a game of two halves, a blunt first half, but an exciting second half.
Now they have to hit this one to the box. Oh! Well, it just goes wide. And again, it's Kwame Wayo, Mali Wayo Church coming in with something spectacular here.
Yeah, and that's why they brought him on. He's exploiting all the spaces left behind. He's creating all sort of problems for Boahin and Gripman. Just look at that. Checks onto the right foot, lifts his head, just aims for the far right-hand side corner. And just look at the run in between the two defenders. Timed his run perfectly, and the good hold-up play was excellent as well. Sanon at full stretch trying to deny him that.
Kwambuachi now finds Entry Sapong. Oh, lovely work there from Entry Sapong. Again, another checks back on the left and swings it in. And the best of our balls into the path there of Mashoud.
Mesmerizing skill there. Entry Sapong from the left-hand side. Always unplayable. Always beaming with confidence. This chap. And, very skillful as well.
And Zoli with that header as well. Well, into the last 10 minutes, and Nations FC will have to throw some players in. Azik, interestingly, Azibotre is out. And you have Samuel Tete and Evan Safo coming in. And so, and withdrawn in the game there, that Sulemana Soini. So is Evans Safo.
Like for like. I'm hoping they could salvage something. I'm sure from Paul Manson together with the entire team are looking at winning 3 points here. It's a tall order now. They've worked so hard, but it's been a story for Nations FC in every away game this season.
And again, his position. Well, again, a good run there, Hearts of Oak. Trying to swing the ball, and so Sanu now to come in. Was able to face the ball away. And again, the Phobians will lose it.
Great awareness by Sanon. They just came out at the right time. Read that perfectly. Just to pummel that one away from danger.
And seeing runs their Hearts of Oak. And now they have to make do with this chance they've gotten. And very poor play. Nations FC really winless in the last 8 away matches since the 19th of May this year. 4-1 win over Legon City with just a draw, conceding 13 goals and scoring. And just through there, and so they are working hard.
The incident again there. Just look at that. Needless from Isibe. Needless from Isibe. Will try to deliberately step on the foot of Tete. To be fair, both players are booked for that, and yeah, after see them hugging each other, smoking the peace pipe. For a second, you're thinking, yeah, it was a bit needless. Yeah, and yeah, confirmation. I thought as much. It should go for both of them. For that scuffling.
And Tete really shouldn't have reacted if there wasn't any reaction. I mean, they would have gotten the card there. Unfortunately, he also reacted, and the reason he's also being booked. And there comes Isibe. Well, it'll be a huge boost there for Hearts of Oak if they pick a 3 points here.
Yeah, lifts them into the top 3. A place where they believe that perhaps they should have been given the chances. You know,
48% possession there for Hearts of Oak, 52 for Nations. A bit surprising there. Well, the Phobians lead by a goal to nil.
Made good use of that 48% possession this evening. We saw them dominate play throughout the first half, but the second half it's been very, very tactical from them, very, very direct. Not seeing too much of the ball, but being very, very effective and efficient up front.
Now seeing the Nations trying to stretch forward. Well, they may have Tete. And again, it's just straight to Agbasi.
Yeah, they're pushing forward now. That pass was from Oko Gripman, the centre back. Tells you the intent now, but then that was a good shot. Just right on the 10 for Samuel Tete. Just moments after being booked, but that was a good hit. We've hardly seen the attackers this evening, you know, even when we saw Farouk Mohamed play before he came on for him, but injury worries now, Hearts of Oak. It's been a very, very torrid day for them. And oh yeah, 1-0 win, but Graham, they are not scoring goals now. They're not scoring, but you might want the 3 points even before you think about scoring lots of goals. At least I believe they would take that, looking at the fact that they are not even averaging a goal per game this season.
The last 4 minutes of the game plus added time. And still Hearts of Oak And Nation struggling to come up, but Hearts of Oak really leading by a goal to nil, and so they will just make do with the 3 points. And a win here will be added onto their performance at home, Hearts of Oak. It's a lovely work there from Paku, and certainly going to be an injury concern there for Nations FC. And Asante Boahin with that huge fall.
Yeah, he was thinking, was being challenged by Isimonti for that. Isimonti had no intentions of just winning that duel.
Raphael Amponsa is out now for Theophilus Collinson. Been a knee problem there for Raphael Amponsa. Well, just summing up the situation here, these two teams, Josiah.
It's been, impressive from Hearts of Oak. You just expect them to beat a side that, has not won an away game yet this season. Their best has been a draw. For Hearts of Oak, you look at that tactical variation, moving back to a 3-back system, at least allow them some freedom, some room up front for their fullbacks to attack. But this is just what the fans needed. After that disgraceful, shameful defeat to Kerala.
So they have a corner kick out near post, has been headed out for play. And it still would have to be recycled back into the box. Sent in again. And Phobians will defend the lines pretty well. The best of deliveries into the box there by Nations FC.
Not at all. You need quality balls now. You just need players who just make something work out of nothing.
Oh my goodness. This is
grip man,
yeah. I'm not sure what the plan was. Just how to find a way to just hold him down. I'm not going to allow you to go this time.
Not at all. He just knows, yeah, it's better 1-0 than 2-0 at this point, and any fast break for Hearts of Oak could result in the dagger, the sucker punch for them. He just had to take one there. He just knew what he was doing. He knew definitely he was going to get booked.
All right, so the game is just running up there in favour of Accra Hearts of Oak now. They lead by a goal to nil, just 90 minutes approaching. That's at that time. And again is Grip Mandel, the yellow card. And again, it's just main points where they just want to find a way into the match. 5 minutes of additional time. Hearts of Oak will have to get their players onto the tap there, knowing that they're almost there. And they just getting the 3 points at this level. And that's a confirmation of the 5 minutes of added time. And now that the ball there by Wayo. Again, this song and the surprising story there from the Hearts of Oak side, and how they have been very much quiet in terms of their fluid play. There's the possessions and allowing Nations FC to come in, but at least they were able to keep their momentum upright and found a chance to get a goal. And the reason they're excited about the 3-point that they have now at the moment. Nico Griffman. Here comes Wachi. And session back now to Andrew Sapong. There's going to be a goal kick scenario there for Hearts of Oak. Here comes Agbesi. Well, it's tactical switch there by the Phobians, clearly giving them the upper hand and the advantage in this game. Now they're wrapping things up. Nations FC will continue searching for an equalizing goal. Hearts of Oak not in the mood for a stalemate in this game as well. And possession where Tete would have to pick it up, but the referee really seeing that to be a very illegal tackle. The bench of Hearts of Oak pretty much excited at least for now. It's the last 2 minutes of another time in the game. And well, there's tactical switch there by Nations FC, looking to pounce on any loose ball on the side there. And it's going to be a foul here. Let's see. The players are trying to indicate to the referee that there's a very aggressive tackle there. And again, it's going to be shown a yellow card for that. Chance to look into the possession of a Gordon Cujo with a yellow card. And here comes an opportunity there for the Nations FC side from Abrancasi, and the last seconds of the other time here at the Legon Stadium. Hearts of Oak really going into this match and hoping that should be it there for them. They're still searching. The player goes to ground there, trying to get the attention of Rastum. So it's going to be dramatic at the last minutes of the game. They have been bad on the road. Might not be the story they probably wanted to talk about the right home. And the final kick there for Nations, the free kick. Trying to hit this ball into the near post or far post, or perhaps in the middle there. Ball swung into the far post! And nearly created a discomfort there for Agbesi. Well, again, that was a good moment there for Nations FC. That was a very quality ball. Just Luton was everybody. Well, again, Rastum there trying to indicate to him was everybody what the scenario would be there for the two sides in the game. Probably be the last action that Agbesi hit the ball in. And so the story for Nations FC is that they continue to be very, very bad on the road there in the Premier League. They haven't really won any match away from home. Accra Hearts of Oak continue with the performance. Bit of a scuffle there as the final whistle came down, and it is Boache who's been shown a yellow card as well there with a scuffle that's happening. And it clearly shows the story and the frustration on the face of Nations FC. Having really been able to win a match away from home And Boache's frustration clearly is indicated in what has happened there, Kwan Boache. And so certainly tells you the story that Hearts of Oak will walk home with a 3 points, at least move third on the Premier League log. Nations FC will be looking to see how things pan out in the subsequent matches to come tomorrow as well. And so at the Legon Stadium, the confusion and the fight, maybe not, but there'll be some intervention coming in there. It finished here at the Legon Stadium, Hearts of Oak 1, Nations FC 0.
All right, so final whistle gone here just moments ago, and Hearts of Oak, they have managed to bag out 3 points at the expense of Nations FC, and it was Hamza Issa's second half header that gave the Phobians all 3 points. And I've been joined here at pitchside by Coach Frimpong Manso. He ended up on the losing side. Coach, commiserations, but how do you sum up the 90 minutes today?
Well, I think it was a game we fought, especially in the first half. In the second half, maybe for 10 minutes, we went off, and then that was how come we allowed that cross to even come in. So for me, it was a game at least maybe we could have ended a draw, but for that, I would say a mistake. They allowed them to play on the flanks, and then that cross came. We've done a lot to make sure we stop all those crosses, but then we allowed them to go for it. Yeah.
In the first half, your assistant coach branded the kind of defendant as tactically disciplined. In the second half, do you think you just didn't put things right? Because from all indication, you were so good in the first half, gave very little to Hearts of Oak, but in the second half...
We were not keeping the ball. At that point, that we conceded. We were always 1-2, we lose the pass. 1-2, we lose the pass. That was how come the pressure came on us. So for me, we couldn't hold the ball well in the second half, especially in the first 15 minutes. And that gave them that, let me say, the counter. They will win the ball and then play to the flank. And then in one of those crosses, they headed in the goal. So it was a transition. We couldn't manage it well. We were losing the balls too many.
Now, finally, 7 games played on the road, 6 defeats, 1 draw. Does that give you sleepless nights?
No, we still have to work. We still have to work. Yes, we haven't. We've earned only 1 point in away games, but then we will have to make sure we do the necessary corrections to make sure we're able to at least get some points on the road.
Thank you very much. I wish you a safe journey back to our Brancases. So that the losing manager, that Stephen Frimpong Manso, his side lost this evening to Accra Hearts of Oak by a lone goal, and he believes that they just dropped their guard for a minute in the second half, and that was what actually caused them, valuable point in this game. I'm now here with the winning, or the coach who ended up on the winning side, that's Masood Didi Jamani. And coach, first of all, let me congratulate you. And was this a game you knew you were going to win even after the first half ended in a draw?
I think that you go in any game and then your optimism is that you have to win, and so, but you have to be thinking about how you have to organize and then be able to put the acts that will give you the attitude of winning.
Coach, your substitutions worked perfectly. We saw Mauli Wayo and then also George Parku, and those two were hugely involved in the goal you scored that won your 3 points. What do you have to say about that?
I think that is part of the game, and then you need players to start, and you need players who can make changes. You need players who can affect the abilities of the team.
Now, your 3 wins at home this season have all come by the same scoreline, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Are you worried you are not really finding the back of the net frequently when you play at home?
I think that when we create more chances, we are very optimistic that we will score more. You need to be doing something frequently, and then you get the act and the confidence to continue to do it, and then you get the act to be able to act in a very better way in terms of the decisions you make in front of goal. We need that confidence to do it consistently, and then we can be able to say that we are adaptive.
With this win, you jump to 3rd place, just 3 points behind leaders, Adriana FC. Is the title charge still on for Accra Hearts of Oak?
I think that it's an open league that needs consistency, and it needs a moment of reflections, and it needs a moment of keeping things in the right ways. We are still on our way of getting better. We are not there yet. We still have a lot to do in terms of complementing what we have.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again. So, Coach Basu Didi Dramani believes they are not there yet, despite picking up valuable 3 points here against Nations FC. And now, joining me at pitchside is the man of the match. Unplayable today, he was clearing everything, and he has been adjudged the man of the match, and that is Kelvin Osesibi. Congratulations, Kelvin.
Thank you, boss.
Now, Mami Bisa win where I'm then a year, Mamo, as a team.
Oh, say, your 2 games now, your boy, you lose here now. Now your supporters, now or more down pa, your bag game win. You say, you put your maximum best to be an bit my be a amount and kunim dia abana supporters in so any at me ajakakra. And in a game where a boy and a boy supporters in so.
Moko Karela Buko Lucy, a 3-back system. There was no Mohamed Ali, Afrani, and then also Kujo. Who partnership they saying?
Has to folk this season. Your philosophy and our culture. Obia to me bo. You need say when you are team no a coaching system. Obia to me bo, and it's our system. We can play back 3 and back 4. And Ali Niwa Obi Obebo because Ali quite national duty and also he anti Ali quite national duty.
So say what I said. League no when he SR League no. Say when you are mobeje. Even though you are about 14 games per.
Once a league in there, Obia need to say 18 teams na ebony na league in there na Obia page but not the same no. It's a marathon no. Na Igusua the final day na last game Obia be bono and be decided no obe win game nti no ye ho aboy ho moden say nyame be adoma bibia betima koyi afi.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again. Kelvin Osesibi is our man of the match in this thrilling encounter here. Stellar Saturday from the University of Ghana Stadium. Accra Hearts will get a 1-0 win over Nations FC. For Nations FC, they are still winless in away games this season. 7 outings, 6 defeats, 1 draw. And it doesn't really look good for Stephen Frimpong Manso's men. I'm still here with Coach Ebenezer Sifa. Coach, for Nations FC, you talk about their away performance. We spoke about it, but it's just moving from bad to worse.
Well, I think after the goal from Hamza Issa, Nation came back. I told you about Mauli Wayo. If Didi is to bring him on, he should use the wide areas. And I think it did work for them. He and Paco showed their presence. Immediately they got onto the pitch. And I think that Frimpong Manso should have been smart enough to know that Didi is going to go the wide areas. You saw the goal. I mean, the pace of Mauli Wayo, the patience of George Paco in the penalty area, and he resulted in the goal. Hamza nearly scored the second goal, and it brought the best out of him. But I was surprised he was substituted. But I think that for Nations, they need to work again. I mean, they have more of the balls in the half or so half. When I told you that they need to play more on the half of House of Folk, they created the chances, but defensive-wise, I think Asibe and the House of Folk back line did very well, defended very well, and they made sure that they head on to that one goal that was scored by Hamza.
You were not happy about the attitude of the players, but in the second half, would you say it was just better? It was improved, from them?
Yes, I think I have to give credit to Didi Dramani because it seems that he spoke very well to them because they themselves realized that look, the attitude of the players wasn't good, the awareness, the communication wasn't there. But immediately they came in for the second half. The substitution also worked for them, so you could clearly see that they are fighting for something. They were angry for something, and it paid off for that goal. And after they go, they went to sleep again after the substitution of Hamza Issa because Subonte didn't add up. For me, he came to reduce the strength of House of Folk. But I think that Didi Dramani, but just give credit to House of Folk because I'm winning against a tough side like Nation, dominance in Milford, And I think that nations also have themselves to blame because they had a couple of opportunities around the penalty area, but they never shot at goal. They wanted to get into the box, try to get attention of the referee. And for me, I think that, look, you need to take the bull by the horn. Shoot at goal, follow the strikes, and see what happens. Congratulations to Hearts of Oak. Better performance in the second half than the first half.
There was a deficit, but then, Coach, quickly, an open league, anyone can win it, I guess.
Oh, of course. But looking at what Adriana is doing, Mediama is doing, it's open to any it's too early to say Adriana, Mediama, or Heart of Lions. Of course, as a folk, look, between them and then Adriana, it's just 3 points. It's just 3 points. And the second window has opened. So obviously the clubs are going to get more players to add up to their squad. So let's see what happens. But I think that is a good performance from Hearts of Oak in the second half.
Interesting. Hearts of Oak next game will be in Samra, they'll be taking on Samatex 1996 on March the 15th. But this is where we call it a wrap on this presentation. Stellar Saturday fixture from the University of Ghana Stadium. Hearts of Oak beating Nations FC by 1-0, courtesy Yamza Issa to take them third on the league log. Don't forget, tomorrow there's a game from the Barbara Sports Stadium where Chims FC will be visiting Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We're live on TV3. We're also live on Unia TV as well as at the Plus. My name is Jose Okukwe. Thanks so much, Coach Bideza. On behalf of everyone here, we say have a good evening.